Good morning. This is Hayden Green, you know, the smooth trivia guy. Well, last August I published a book named SMUSH, and you can see it right there. It's right behind me every time I walk up. As Brooklyn's favorite polymath, SMUSH made sense to me. It's a collaboration of art and poetry and literature and some bits of advice, all smushed together. But I realize that people don't consume everything the same way that polymaths do. So I created SMUSH Just the Shorts because SMUSH has 4 really good short stories that I'm really proud of. So if you bought SMUSH and didn't read the stories, now's your time to go back and read it. But if you were like, a coffee table book is not my speed, but I'm really interested in those short stories, now's the time to pick up paperback style and available on Amazon and for your Kindle, right? So you can just read it on the train. I'm going to read you a passage from Chance Encounters. Ernest Chance was well read. He had read the classics like David Copperfield and the Iliad, as well as some more recent works from Nneka Okafor. He read 3 newspapers every day, and a half-dozen trade magazines showed up at his office weekly for his perusal. He liked acquiring knowledge as much as he enjoyed collecting new memories. He loved to read, a love that was fostered during his geeky high school years. But Ernest Chance never read Moby Dick. It just never made his list of required or desired readings. One wonders if he had been able to read the Melville classic, would he have been able to understand India? In E's world, India was not merely a country with millions of captivating, alluring women. It was also the name of one woman who wrapped him around her finger. She was one of a half set of twins, and E was on the debate team with her sister, Asia. Affectionately, he called them the Eastern Twins, but they were actually the Jenkins sisters. Asia and India were as divergent as 2 siblings could be, and the irony was pounded home further by the fact that they were identical. Asia and E were on the same path in college, focused, motivated, hardworking. India was the antithesis of all of that. Asia would have been a more realistic parent for E back then, but at that juncture in his life, E had gotten accustomed to women not being attracted to him, and he didn't see her at all. But he saw India. Initially, he didn't know India existed, though. The conversations that he and Asia had very rarely crossed into the personal realm, and she never mentioned that she had a sister, and definitely not a doppelganger, roaming the streets of New York. E met India quite by happenstance, and he had always said that he should write a book about that and how it happened. It involved a train, a bell, and a panhandler. To this day, it was the strangest, most pivotal day in his life, and it proved to be the catalyst for the man that he became. That relationship was destined to end the way it did. You see, Ernest Chance had never read Moby Dick. If he had, maybe he would understand what happens to a man when he chases a white whale. Perhaps he would be able to recognize that he was showing the very same obsessive traits that Ahab did. Conceivably, Eve would have been able to realize when it was time to turn his ship around, count his losses, and move to friendlier seas and less elusive catch. None of these lessons were learned because the man never read the book, so the woman had wrecked his ship. It took him years to right himself, but when he did, he was stronger, wiser, and determined not to experience his India years ever again. Maybe it was good that he had never read Moby Dick. And there are 4 stories in here that I really love and I really want you to read. So pick up SMUSH on your Kindle or the paperback. It's not a long read. Or if you bought SMUSH, the full book, go read the stories. Thanks.